Here we go. This is my second try. Good morning. I am Carrie Freeman. This is my left ear. At my left ear, we do political commentary and predictions, and sometimes I veer off into other things like the runes and meditation and hypnotherapy and psychic coaching. And what I do is I get information through my left side, and I also do the runes. And I'm a change agent. I help people change, and I do this through the psychic coaching and through hypnotherapy, etc., etc. My email is below if you have any questions. So deep breath. It's it's a big time, folks. So this is called DOJ, voting, and Ghislaine Maxwell. It's kind of a mixture, isn't it? So I'm going to start with really good news, because we don't hear a lot of it. And that is that current Gallup poll shows an increase in the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is expanding. It's getting bigger. How wonderful is that? And it's happened. It's the first time in a decade. The first time in a decade. So that means people are getting involved. They do not like what they're seeing on the right side. They recognize there's nuttiness. And they recognize that the Democrats and Joe Biden are trying to improve lives all across the board. So what this indicates to my left ear is tremendous determination in the light of the voting challenges that are going on right now. The prediction is that the Democrats are going to come out in droves to vote in 2022. Just this determination is going to be overwhelming, and they're going to get in there and they're going to find any which way. But now I want to share with you, yesterday, again, near water, not thinking about politics, I got a message. And the message was that the GOP's attempt to insert the ability from state to state to nullify an election that maybe they don't like or they don't agree with, that's going to be a problem. They're not going to get away with it. That's what I want you to know. There's going to be a huge fight about this nullification issue, and they're not gonna win. It came to me yesterday, so I'm sharing, and it's positive, because as you probably have seen, Texas, where I was born, I'm sorry to say, it's in what I call a political Cuisinart, right? It's in a food processor right now, the whole state, in regard to voting. And all the guardrails are falling away. There's a huge battle there. So right now, Beto O'Rourke is a hero, and he will continue to be a hero. He's a huge figure in this, in Texas. He is needed. Beto O'Rourke is needed. Now there's a recap. Donald Trump is under confirmed active criminal investigation in New York, Georgia, and Arizona. That's good news. The wheels of justice may be moving slowly, but they're moving. Now, there's a nothing burger going on that I don't want to give any real attention to, because it is such a nothing burger. It's just a PR stunt that 45 is suing Twitter and Facebook. Let it go, forget it. It's just a way to grab attention, be a show pony. Don't pay this anything. They are private corporations. They're not messing with his First Amendment. So, okay, I'm just reading that I jumped something about the nullification. It will be kneecapped. I'm just repeating that. The whole thing about nullifying someone in each state, who the hell is that person, will be able to nullify a vote, an election outcome that they don't like. Not so fast, okay? Now, this is something very interesting and brand new. I'm running out of, I think I need to get another power source because nothing is working on my computer. I'm plugging it into everything and I'm losing juice. So I'm going to talk kind of fast. Anyway, the DOJ, Department of Justice, took a very strong position this week about the insurgents and ankle bracelets. There is an ex-Marine, a rioter, someone considered very radical and dangerous named Alex H. And he's in jail. And he wants, well, I think he got out of jail. He wants removal of his GPS monitoring. So the DOJ stood up and citing that Alex could inspire violence again. And you know why? Because of Donald Trump's influence. Donald Trump's lies about being reinstated in August and about lying that there was no violence on January 6th are stimulating more possibility for more riots. So this is the first time the DOJ stood up and they said it verbally, they put it in writing, and they used ex-president Donald J. Trump as the danger. Well, my left ear thinks this is the beginning. This is the first time that anybody has really come out officially and connected the rioters with Donald Trump and his influence. So this was I'd like to say it was calculated, but I don't know. They just did it, which is really good. So it's big. They're talking about Trump being a liar and it being dangerous. So look for more from the DOJ. Now, my left ear also feels that the DOJ, that would be Merrick Garland, is most likely waiting for the SDNY to drop more indictments against Trump directly. All right? That, I think, is part of the mix on what's going on and what seems to be a delay. We all, I think, have to realize that if any charges are brought up against the ex-president, they have to be rock solid. They have to be, because no president has ever been charged, and so it's got to be a real lock-in case. Nothing, no gray edges. They've got to be certain of what they have, and that's part of what's going on. Now, something interesting about, I think a lot of people don't know how to say her name, Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm just going to say Ghislaine. Is that her private documents that hold a lot of secrets were ruled to be revealed. So she can't keep them secret, all right? Now, I don't know if you know this, but this is not her real name. A female named Katie Johnson, when she was 13 years old, filed suit against Donald Trump and Epstein for sexual assault when she was a child. Now, she dropped the suit shortly afterwards, stating that she was threatened and she was too afraid to go forward. So it's just been kind of like lying there. Now, with Jeffrey Epstein gone and Maxwell sitting in prison, this is probably the best time it's going to come forward. And by the way, Donald Trump has been reported to say, is she talking? Is she revealing? He's interested. And there would be only one reason he is interested in anything Ghislaine Maxwell says, because he's involved, because he might be named. Now, the theory is, and my left ear thinks, that she will flip eventually. She's been very stubborn. No. But she's being held in federal custody, and the particular detention center in Brooklyn is reported to be filthy, poorly maintained, not properly heated or vented, and she wants out. Just a reminder, Ghislaine Maxwell she's a Brit, a socialite, or was, And she grew up with a millionaire father, very privileged, and a very narcissistic father, so she just went on with another crazy narcissist like Jeffrey Epstein. So we will see about that, but we would say that Ghislaine Maxwell has the opportunity to blow up Donald Trump on one level. That being said, there are people that will never leave their loyalty to Donald Trump. They just won't. No matter what they see, no matter what we find out, they will stick like glue, a small amount. And in terms of voting, there is a gentleman who stood in line for 6 hours to vote. And then he was deemed that it was illegal for him to vote because he had committed felonies, burglaries, and he got arrested. And it's so serious that he could go to jail for 60 years for standing in line for 6 hours and trying to vote because he didn't know. He didn't know that he wasn't allowed. The ACLU is coming in to represent him. And I think we all need to pray that he doesn't get any sentences for this. It's really horrible that people that murder, like the police officer, got 15 years for murder and kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck. And this guy stands in line to vote. He's not supposed to. It's a mistake. They want to throw him in jail for 60 years. So let's just hold a good thought for that. And there's just one quote today, but it is by the great George Carlin, one of the greatest comedians of all times, and political satirist, social satirist, brilliant man. George Carlin said, "Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups." How did he know, right? Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. But I have a bonus. Don't go away. I did the runes were very popular last week. I got so much feedback and it was all really good. Thank you. I'll do more. And it really inspired me to do this reading today. So I can close this now. And all right, so I asked the runes, will the SDNY turn over the Trump Organization taxes and indictments and all the information, the money laundering, the 2 books, the everything to the DOJ, the Department of Justice? Because otherwise the Department of Justice doesn't have that treasure trove of guilt-inducing material against Trump Org and Trump. Well, I got to tell you, I got 2 runes that I keep getting on these political questions, all right? First of all, I'm just going to say yes, and I'll tell you why. So the first rune, once again, it was harvest. Now, harvest came up about indicting Trump. So this goes along with when will this indictment happen? And harvest speaks of 1 year. 1 year. The harvest comes in 1 year. And we've had this, again, I asked about 2022 and the Dems taking extra seats in the Senate, and I got harvest, 1 year. Well, that's when the elections are coming. And in this, here's the harvest, to just remind you of that, what it looks like again. Cute little thing, harvest. It tells us it's 1 year because there's no way to push the river. Now the second, I do them in 3, I told you, the beginning, the middle, and the end. It tells me a story. So the second one is flow, but it is in reverse. Now usually flow is, wait a minute. there's flow. Usually it's like that. All right. So flow gives the advice during this year. Do not overreach. Do not push. Do not exceed the powers that you have been funded. Now that's the message to the Democrats. Trust this process. Draw upon your wisdom, and as they say, don't push the river. It's happening in due time. And then the last chapter of this Rune reading about the SDNY turning over is fertility. We have gotten fertility before. It's really interesting, but this is what happens with the runes. It's almost like the runes say, I told you. Well, fertility is about new beginnings. How literal can that be, people? New beginnings. It's a movement towards harmony, and it frees us from a rut, a habit, or a relationship. Hello, and it releases tension. There is a resounding yes on the SDNY turning over all their material to Merrick Garland and the DOJ. So that's pretty cool, right? I'll talk to you soon. There's so much to cover. This isn't, I didn't cover all of it, but I'm checking in. It's hot as hell here, and I'm so sorry about the air conditioner. So I'm really trying to speak up. But if I had turned the air conditioner off and started this video, you would have seen me look like Rudy Giuliani with like mascara running down my face from sweat. And I don't want to imitate Rudy Giuliani. I think you understand that. So the air conditioner, we've got some heat stuff going on. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you soon. There's no doubt in my mind that we've got some exciting things happening this week. I did not mention Richard Branson going up in his special contraption. It's cool. I don't see it as immediate or that important right now. It's progress. That's great. I like Richard Branson. I wish all the millionaires would get together and feed people, help people, maybe rather than going into space. But, I could be naive about this, and I totally admit it. Look for evidence. There's always some evidence, a good parking space, a compliment, an unexpected phone call, a hug, or even bigger, okay? Look for the good evidence, be the good evidence, and peace and blessings. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And thank you again, everybody.